Hey everybody, and welcome back. For those who are interested in the FIG rosters, I did not put in the Ring of Honor or the NWA rosters yet. I'm going to do those separately because there's more than the 30 cutoff limit for that one because I just kind of keep it in a giant tote. So here to begin, and let me know if you want me to actually forego the actual photos I found on Google and actually take pictures of the actual figures and size it up properly. This is just kind of, like I said, a rough draft of it, but here it is. So these WWF represented by Ultimate figures. Now, of course, you've got Andre, you got Hogan, you got Bret. These are all obviously ones you can get in stores, but I do have Ultimates of Animal and Hawk, Axe and Smash. Ted DiBiase's on his way. Bob Backlund. These were Elite figures converted to Ultimates. Some were completely customized entirely. Like Chris Benoit was built from scratch. Great Muta was built from scratch. Ricky Steamboat, again, they took his Elite 93 chase lower half and mixed it with the top half. And it looks decent, looks good. Tully, of course, Bulldog. Owen, completely built from scratch. In fact, I have a currently all pink attire one. I just found the one that looks more like this one. So if you want to see what the actual figures look like, I can always do a more detailed roster review of that. Here's the titles that in the Fig Fed they're going for. You got the WWF World, WWF Intercontinental, WWF European. I decided to do WWF United States because I like the design of that belt, but I also like the new design of the newer belts. And so you can't have two U.S. titles on the same show. So instead, I decided, let's, we got some WCW guys in there, so let's do a hodgepodge, if you will. So we got like Sid and Sting, and we got Benoit. They can all fight for that kind of U.S. title. It's a way to bring WCW kind of into the WWF fold of a what if scenario, because I'm not doing a Ultimate WCW brand because they just don't have enough people. But there is a WCW roster, not to be confused. Then we have the WWE roster. This is, of course, again, Ultimates as well, but this is gonna be more your modern Ultimates. Some throwbacks there, like Eddie Guerrero is gonna be in there. Rob Van Dam will be in there. Jeff Hardy is going to, of course, be in there. Booker T is a custom entirely built, which I'm amazed they haven't done a Booker T yet. Hopefully, one day they'll do official King Booker, maybe. Um, the other custom in there, Drew McIntyre, uh, wasn't too hard to build. It's kind of his older look. I think, if I haven't done a review on it, it's going to be in the October Fig custom review section. So here is this kind of like I said, if you want to, if you're following along on this, if you've already turned to the station, I understand. But Ken Shamrock, another one. You can actually find a lot of his on eBay. A lot of people are converting the green attire Shamrock into an ultimate because the body type, that really jacked body, works perfectly for Shamrock. He was very built. And the lower half works perfectly because it doesn't make the height difference. Really, you're just making him more bulkier. Of course, people are altering Eddie Guerrero to look thinner because that jacked torso, it is pretty jacked. I see what they were trying to go for. They were trying to go for his late in life upper body was very big. I mean, I just watched him versus Batista on No Mercy 2005 on YouTube for some reason. Just saw it and clicked on it and watched it, and I was like, wow, you could see he was struggling mobility wise. But I digress. Here's the roster. Of course, there's room for Lashley and Kurt Angle to join in the future. I do have some people on standby, which I might add in for the time being. I tend to try to keep it within a roster of 25 to 30. 30 is the maximum any roster can go. And then everybody else who doesn't make the cut has to wait till next year for the potential firing and hiring of new people. Then there's the WCW roster. Now, this is only represented by the Elite Plus, as I call it. Plus being that you have the added arm reticulation. Differentiates from the Elite original, but that didn't have the double jointed arms. So you've got pretty much everybody. Lashley, of course, hasn't got his Ultimate yet, so I'm not moving him over to the Ultimate yet. So he's still in the WCW. I might have a Mr. Perfect Ultimate being built. Myself personally, I'm trying to build one right now. I'm waiting for the singlet from his Superstar Series 6 to show up. See how that works out. Mankind, of course, is going to be moving up to the Ultimate in the future. Luger could be moving up to the Ultimate here in the WWF very soon. And of course, I'm always looking for new Ultimates. Of course, they take a while. We would have had DDP if the crowdfunder had happened, but that's not going to be the case. And there are two other guys that are scheduled to arrive here um, and take the place of Lashley and take the place of others who could go to other brands. Um, JBL, I'm also talking about possibly trying to convert him into an Ultimate as JBL for foil for Eddie Guerrero. Then you got the AEW, and obviously the FTW belt's not here yet. The international will be told November. I was able to snag one of those 4-packs off eBay, which now I see people are doing pre-orders of, and it's $60, $70 more than what I paid for it on eBay. So unfortunately, if you didn't get this, I'm sure they'll come out with a single version of that in the future. Again, I'm very impatient, I guess, on borrowed time after being a cancer survivor 3 times. So I'm all impatient and wanting to get the stuff as soon as I can to enjoy it before my time is up. And then, of course, the Trios titles, they're coming in official form, but I found a customizer who had built 3 with 3D printing technology, which has changed the game as far as belts for not everybody. Some people still use the printouts and the cheaper version. These 3D printed ones, like Forbidden figurines and whatnot, if you ever have a chance to find them or look those belts up, I would not sleep on those belts. They're more expensive, but they are so good looking in figure feds and in figure photography. Then here's the NXT. This is where the old elites go. Um, Obviously, you got Buddy Murphy, you got Kyle O'Reilly, you got Keith Lee. These guys will be heading off to AEW when they finally officially release these guys. Well, obviously, I ordered Buddy Matthews in the AEW line, but they won't be here until January, apparently. I'm hoping that's a typo. I'm hoping that's just a large window and they're going to surprise us by like November. We know that Series 13 is coming soon, and then it's Unmatched 8 supposed to be next, and there'll be Series 14. They're supposed to do one after the other. It's supposed to be every month, but obviously that's just not going to happen. I'm thinking every 2 months maybe, but I could be wrong. They could be holding off till January, which eventually he will be moving on. Kurt Angle, of course, will be moving on to the Ultimate section as well. So if you are following this at all, check back because there will be some people showing up. These are the guys that are not getting custom sent to Impact or anything like that. They're already elite. The only thing they could do now is if somebody was to mod them into an Ultimate, or maybe alter them into a Elite Plus, or if they got upgraded. Like Bobby Roode is still on the roster, active screen. I mean, he's injured last I checked. I heard Razor and Akeem are back, so maybe we'll see updated versions of them. Obviously, Dean's not going to happen, but if he goes to AEW or they do something with him, maybe he'll get moved up. Eric Young was around, but he's gone. Dudley's just got announced to sign a deal, so if they go to Ultimate status or Elite Plus, then they'll be moved up. So, and of course, at the end of the physical year of wrestling, as I call it, the physical year, because I do about 1 or 2 shows every week. I try to get through half a year or a full year in only half the time. The lowest ranked guys will be, sent packing, and we'll bring in new people. But here are the belts they're going to be competing for, and I do storylines, but it's entirely a dice roll that decides who's fighting for what belts, what champions might happen. I mean, you know, if I was a regular Fig Fed person who had the storyline built out for everybody, obviously Del Rio will probably be in the main event scene against Kurt Angle a lot. But really, anything could happen. The dice roll could change. I mean, I've had guys like Evan Bourne go on a streak of like 3 or 4 weeks of wins, go off, win the cruiserweight belt, then go on to the UK belt. I usually try to keep the champions from being double champions unless it's absolutely, like if he wins the NXT version of the Royal Rumble or something like that, he's the North American champion, then he has to fight for the title. And of course, in the Fig Fed news, this is all imaginary stuff. I just do it for fun. Then here's your Impact roster. These belts are all custom belts. Some are better than others. Like I got this from Forbidden Figurines, this belt from Forbidden Figurines, this belt from the same thing, and this one and this one just kind of this one definitely not as detailed. I think I got for like $10 off eBay. And until they officially make a WCW hardcore title, it's just going to stay down here in the custom belt along with the custom figures. These Impact belts, though, I did get from Macari. They were originally Forbidden Figurine belts. You can see by the decal on the back of them. Really good, well done. Currently, they reside on Nunzio and Tony Mamaluke as a tag champions again. I rolled dice. I did a tournament. That's the team that won. Got new challengers coming in though. I mean, we're gonna have Luther Reigns eventually showing up in here, so Luther and Mark Jindrak could go for him. Sean O'Hare and Chuck Palumbo could go for him. There's a number of things. The Vampire Warriors, which will be Kevin Thorne and Gangrel, could go for those belts. So you never know. We'll just see what happens. Shout out to Bill DeMott though, who just won the Impact X Division title in a tournament. Then you have the TNA roster, and this, of course, is the Jax Deluxe version. The NWA is going to be represented by the Ruthless Aggression, and the Ring of Honor is represented by the FTC figures. If you know what those guys are, they're not exactly posable. I mean, they're posable, but they're not really playable. So for the most part, they are literally like a statue federation. These guys got a little bit of posability. Again, I'm not really, think of these like almost like minor league or minor brand, independent territories, basically. Spoiler, a lot of these guys will be going off to the Impact Zone. They will be getting Elites redone. Jeff Jarrett, I had one at one time, and then they announced they were going to make the Ultimate, so I sold it, and then they canceled the Ultimate. So Carlito, I'm hoping he's going to get an Elite Plus figure officially from Mattel, so I'm holding off on having him built. But a lot of the other guys are just in a random drawing every month or so. When I'm bored, I roll a dice 1 through 20, and whatever number comes up. For instance, Taz, he's already partially paid, so he'll be leaving off here. I'm going to be getting a Royal Rumble 2000 custom Taz, which I've already seen rough figures do multiple ones with the FTW on the back. I want his WWE debut look, and he makes Taz look really well. The figure height, the proportions are there. Rob Conway is definitely another one in the queue. I just haven't decided what attire I really want yet. If I want his right before he got fired, he debuted a new look, or if I want more of his black with like a white offset on the trunks with the gold with the star. I'm not expecting him to draw the picture of him or paste his picture on the back of his keister. We could just probably fill in just a black star or something like that, or even just an outline star or whatever it is. I'm not going to make him go into that much crazy detail, and I don't like when they print out and then try to glue it on there because it just never looks right. It always can rip easily. Saban and Shelley, of course, I'm just waiting until a few more weeks until I decide to pull the trigger on getting those two started up. Right now with the huge queue, we're just waiting on that. So here's the TNA roster. Obviously, Matt Morgan currently is the champion. The global belt just went to Chris Sabin after beating Sabu. James Storm is your reigning and only X Division champion so far. And the tag belts have changed hands 3 times. Current champions now being Amazing Red and Crimson. So obviously it's a smaller roster, so it's going to be a lot of overlapping, I feel like. But and it's going to get smaller. I've ordered the Sabu, like a lot of people have, the one that was supposed to be here long ago from the Uncensored line that Dynamite Kid came in. So if that ever does officially come to, I'm told it's in progress somewhere out there. If it ever does show up, then yeah, he'll be going off to just the Elite brand and he'll bypass the Impact custom zone. And then the Open Door Wrestling brand showcase. So this is just, there's like a belt here or there for some of these guys, but for the most part, these are just guys you can see there's just not a big enough roster or style to make it, a viable brand. Like, I call it the GHC. It was originally going to be represented by the Basics of WWE of Mattel, but they've changed the style, and so these guys are a different style altogether. MXW, which is just basically, it's TNA before Jax took over the license. There's 4 guys left. Technically, there's only 3 left because I've already commissioned to have PD Williams made into an Ultimate. Then Elix Skipper, Chase Stevens, and Senshi or Caval. I haven't decided what his attire is going to look like yet. Nice thing about Mike Ruff is he gives his 2 cents. We talk, we formulate, we figure out what's the best options. What's he really want to do? Because he's not really passionate about it. He'll do it, but he's not eager to get it done as quick as others. Like I know that with the Canyon, he really wanted to get the Canyon done. Apparently, he's waiting on the head. It got delayed. But he wanted to do a different attire because he's done 2 other attires, and instead of doing a custom one, he really wanted to try his invasion look, and I was like, all right, you know what, that's fine. Let's, instead of doing some custom that no one will even know what that is, let's do an authentic one. You're right. So, and then of course these guys are on their way, Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, for the Legends of Wrestling, the Low. I couldn't think of anything to call it. I just call it the Low. Obviously, they'll have their own official brand. I'll probably call it the AEW or the AWA. Once we get more people, I'm still waiting on Series 2 to possibly drop, and then I'll move these guys out of here. But these are just basically the brand showcase. These are just guys who are waiting for more people to show up. ECW, of course, if you know the Lucha or the Boss Fight line, the Fanaticos. I did put Conan over here. He's gonna be part of that SWX when they put a belt. I think they're supposed to move Vampiro over to that brand as well, and add someone else as well. Tenebris Jr. apparently is rumored to be going into the Fanatico series, or if not the premium line. So I'm just, as people get added on, they're going to be. I'm not really going to be looking to turn these guys into elites customs. Not these guys or any of these guys, of course, but definitely turning like Chris Masters, definitely going to be Mason Ryan, definitely even Simon Gotch. Kali probably not. There's not really a body type for that. So, but Tommy Dreamer, definitely Darren Young, Alex Riley, these guys are definitely going to be going off into the quote Impact custom zone. So that will shrink down. These guys have been rumored to be signed and coming in elite form in the future with Mattel, so they'll be going away. Taka and Patriot, another two that are going to be moving up. So I'm going to be shrinking these ones down, keeping the New Japan guys as is, keeping the MCW guys obviously for now. I mean, if they get deals with Boss Fight, then I'll start moving them over here, and this will be gone eventually. So it can, and eventually come down to like, say Charlie Malice doesn't get a figure, he'll just be down here with Mongo chilling on the shelf, no one to wrestle. So yeah, these are just what we call the open door wrestling brand showcase. It's just basically getting one-off guys or a small group of independent wrestling figures that may or may not get moved up. I can say right now these guys definitely are going to get moved up eventually, especially Mike Kanellis, Lars. I've seen people do Lars custom ultimates or elites already with him. Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, if they do get if they do get newer elite style figures, and yeah, they're definitely leaving New Japan. Currently, I have Jushin and Minoru Suzuki. They are just basically what we represent. I first put AEW or All Japan Pro Wrestling. They're just because they're basically made by Storm Collectibles. So unless El Desperado or whatever his name is comes out, then obviously I'll add him. But they're still so few and far between. It'll take a while before they ever branch out to their own brand. So yeah, that is the figure rosters. Hopefully you have an idea of it now. And if you want me to actually just go and take real photos of the actual figures, I did it this way because obviously sometimes the figures don't represent the best likeness of them. But if you want me to do that, I'll make a more detailed page. Like I said, I was just killing some time because I have work until 12. So I always welcome suggestions. I know it's boring because I make it a clip show video, but I'm just trying to be different than everybody else.